Today on the 5-minute book review starring Curtis and Ian, we man up for Y: The Last Man. Synopsis, please. On July 17th, 2002, something, referred to only as a plague, simultaneously kills every mammal possessing a Y chromosome. The only exceptions appear to be New York residents Yorick Brown and his male monkey, Ampersand. Yep, being the last man alive on Earth, what does the young Yorick do? He sets out on a mission to find, wait for it, his estranged girlfriend, and while he obviously doesn't go looking for trouble, trouble finds him. Coin toss to start, and Ian is the winner.
5-minute book review with Curtis and Ian. He's Curtis, I'm Ian. Today we're talking about Y: The Last Man. Not just volume 1, we're going to talk about the whole series collectively. I'm holding 1, Curtis has got 2. Y: The Last Man, for the uninitiated, is the story of the last man on Earth. A disease is taking out every other male mammal on the face of the Earth. He is it. There is nothing else with a Y chromosome. And it's about his story dealing with the fallout of the plague and just the realities of the world he lives in now, trying to, I guess, repopulate society, but at the same time, and just everything that's happening in a world that is just him and a lot of women. It is fantastic. It is Brian K. Vaughan's opus, in my opinion. A lot of people love this for good reason. It is a fantastically written story. At first, when you hear it, when you hear the concept, you think, okay, it's another, apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic story, somebody trying to survive. It's not. It is nothing like you have ever read before. Absolutely, period.
Thing that really makes the standout is the writing. I have to agree with you. The idea sounds cheesy, and it always reminds me of a burn I had on this girl in elementary school, where she was like, "Curtis Anderson, I wouldn't go on a date with you if you were the last man on Earth." And I was like, "Honey, if I was the last man on Earth, you wouldn't be allowed in line." Oh, snap. I went there. Anyways, the writing in this is so good because there's just so much that they could have copped out and made into giant plots, but they just are kind of like, this is the way it is. I don't want to offend anybody, but after all the men die, there are women who dress up like men and work the streets. It makes sense. It could have been this 3-story arc, but they don't bother. It's just this is what happened, and they don't go into the depths of it. It's just it's accepted. That's the way the world is now. The only complaint I have, and it's a pretty big one, is that, yeah, this guy, he's just such a good guy, and he spends the whole series looking for his ex-girlfriend instead of doing what any other guy would do.
What is that, Curtis? Yeah, he's a super, super nice guy. I don't know, I think I'm blown away by how not cheesy, to steal your phrase, it is. It is a book that you sit down and you read it, you expect one thing, you get another. The reality of the world that you're living in is just accepted in this book. It just is what it is, and you just sort of continue on with it as the story goes on. I think it's a beautiful thing.
They do even what my complaint about why he wouldn't do what any other normal guy would do. They do a really good job of trying to explain that, about how he's a nice guy, and they always keep you guessing. Because just when you think, okay, this is where it's going to go, they throw you for a left, and you're like, oh wow, that's pretty good. Yeah. Great characters, that's another thing. And there's times where you finish one of these, and then you're like, oh yeah, there aren't any guys in this. It's not over your head constantly. There's just greatly written characters, and they're all women. Y: The Last Man.
It's an absolutely spectacular book. It's so beautifully written. It's such a complete world that you sit down, you read it, you're enveloped in it. You believe in it. It's not cheesy or cliche in any way, and it's hard not to enjoy it.
I really like how the one guy left has no redeeming qualities, really, other than he's loyal to his girlfriend despite these staggering odds. He's really kind of a waste of a human being. And I love how they just keep bringing that up, but once again, they don't beat it over your head. Yeah. They let you come to your own conclusions, which is
he's still doing this awesome thing. He's still hunting down his ex-girlfriend, though, because he's, worried, I guess.
Again, can't say anything bad about the writing.
It's hard to, yeah.
It would be so easy to take the easy way out with the side plots in this book, but they never do.
No
they never do. They never do once. Not once do you roll your eyes in the whole series, the run of it. And it's done, eh? It ended after 10.
It's done after book, I believe, 10, yeah.
And that's another sign of good writing. They know when they started, they know when they want to end it.
End on a high note, just like us every time.
That's right, we're getting the wrap. Ending on a high note. Ian,
high note.
Y: The Last Man, definitely. Two thumbs up.
All of it. All volumes of it.
I read it out of sequence and it was still great. Yeah. There you go.